Welcome. My name is Thomas. I'm here to share in this video 1040X, which is amended returns. And this year we able to electronically file amended returns for 1040 series tax returns, which is great. But the only downside is you can't use direct deposit when it comes to amended returns. So if you got direct deposit on your initial return and you got your money that way, then on the amended portion you will not get a direct deposit transaction. It'll come in mail as a check, and it tells us that as the tax professional who's preparing your return through software that we cannot use direct deposit information. Even if we leave it in there, it won't carry over on the return, so you will get a check in the mail. So that's the only downside to direct deposits being done through amended returns is that they're not honoring the direct deposit situation when it comes to that. Because due to identity theft being what it is, they don't want to be able to pay out a second check that might have been fraudulent with the first check, so they're doing paper checks. So right here on the irs.gov, you type in irs.gov, it takes you to this page here, and you got different tabs you can choose from, or different topics you can choose from that you're looking at. And so right here, we're looking at check your amended return status. So you click this here, it takes us to another page. It gives some information. It says when to check, what you need, how to find. And so what we do is once you read that little bit of information, we click this button here. And then we click OK. And then you're going to put in your social, the date of birth, and your postal code. And then it's going to give you some type of status, if any, available at the time that you check. So that's how simple it is to check your amended returns for the clients who done amended returns this year, is to let them know this is how you go through to check your own status. Because see, a lot of times as a courtesy, we check their status as home, which they can basically do themselves by simply going to irs.gov and click on the link that says, uh, where's my amended return? And so that's how simple it is. So when it comes to amended returns, the only real challenge about amended return is, especially if we're not the person who originally done the return, is that we have to duplicate the return as is, regardless if it's done correctly or not. And so that can be a challenge if you don't have all the information that they use on the original return, especially because A, they didn't come to you in the first place, and B, they probably didn't keep up with the paperwork that they had that went with it. And so a lot of times when they don't go back to the person who originally did it, it's for a couple of reasons. A, that person no longer does taxes. B, they retired. C, they made an error and they don't want to go back. And so they looking to pay someone else to do it, which costs extra. Because see, amended returns are so simple to do because simply from the standpoint, if I'm the one who did the return, all I have to do is add the federal 1040X and the state 1040X to the tax return first, save that, and then make the corrections. And so that's why it's easier for them to go back to the person who originally did it. And so we let them know the cheapest way to go is to go back to the person who did it because they have it already in their system. If we have to do amended return for a return that we didn't do originally, then we have to charge you the price of doing the return and then making the fixes. And so that can be expensive, especially if we talk about multiple years. So, but the problem is, like I said, if they don't want to go back to that person for whatever reason, they made a mistake, they weren't satisfied with the overall results, or whatever the case may be, that they don't want to go back, they end up spending more because we charge you the regular rate to do a return and then amending it. And so that's going to be the challenge, especially if you got a complex return and we don't have all the information that was used to create the return in the first place. So that's how that works. So if you need to check amended return status, like I said, go to irs.gov. They have some topics that you can look at, and you can find the one that says, "Where's my amended return?" and follow the prompts as you read the page and click on the blue button like I showed you in this video. And I'll see you in my next video.